Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to be doing a bunch of little things to this truck, the 1985 square body Chevy with the Cummins swap in it. The main thing I want to get accomplished today is switching the fuel tanks from the temporary over to the actual tank on the truck. Let's go ahead and get started on this so we can get done with it. Not that particular tire, but that location on the truck was flat. That's the tire in question. Turns out there's a tear in the bead that wasn't there when I bought them. Okay, that's the one thing I looked at when I was buying them used tires to make sure the beads were not tore. And here we are. I found 3 more of the same tires in about the same shape. I've been tinkering with this lift. I don't have any footage of it because it is a miserable thing to deal with, but I got the lift bolted down. The cables are all hooked up. I got the new Beaver hydraulic power unit. I'm an affiliate with these people, but I didn't become until like when I was buying this. So if I can get the links and the codes and all that, I'll put them down below.
We're on the brink of the next world war.
I had to put a ratchet strap from the lift to the frame to pull the bottom out like that so I could get the last couple bolts and the holes to line up there. But I got her. This cross member, I've been looking for that since I started this whole build. I can't find them new anywhere. Any used ones that I found were in the same condition as the one that I took out of here. They were just rotten, just beyond belief. There was no saving them. A guy that had a cut-off frame off of a 2-wheel drive square body. I got that frame. He said it was from Arizona, that the front end had been clipped. They made a trailer out of it. I got it, $100 basically. I paid for the cross member, but there's a couple other ones on there. That one, I don't know if that's where the engine went. No, that's where the transmission went. And then that way back one, and where the spare tire was hanging. That stuff's all there. That turned out pretty good. I just had years of like flaky rust on it. That's the drive shaft. I put new U-joints in that thing. So drive shaft's ready to go in. We got this idler pulley. All this does is take up space. That's where the fan goes, but we're not using the engine driven fan. But that pulley kind of wants to be there. That way we can get a belt minus AC. And then we'll be able to run all the rest of the accessories. That's about it. Water pump and the alternator is the only thing that runs off of the belt. Power steering comes in from the back and runs off of an internal gear. And of course, we got the cross member in. Right now, I want to show you guys a few tips and tricks when it comes to tire service, right? Like putting your tire on or off a wheel, okay? This is gonna blow your mind because I see professionals mount and dismount tires and they don't do this. It's a little known trick, so pay attention, okay? First off, you may or may not have seen a video where I talked about fighting with these tires. I wound up taking them to a place that installs tires for a living. They screwed up one of the tires, right? They ripped the bead. So I had to go buy more used tires. First thing is, wire wheel the rim. Once you get the tire off, take a wire wheel or at least a wire brush. Take all the oxidation, especially on a aluminum wheel, but if you got steel wheels, you can even take a little hammer and like chip the rust and stuff off if it gets real thick. Say the thing's been sitting out in a field for 15 years. Then you can take a wire wheel to it. Clean that thing up spotless. You know why? Because that shit causes your wheels to leak air. That stuff's bad. Oxidation and rust, it's got to get removed from the wheel before you put tire on. I'll give you a little example on how that's done. Gloves, eye protection, ear protection. Okay, right? You turn this thing on, and then you move it along here until all the crud is gone. Just do it, okay? Don't skip this part because you'll be doing it again. All right, I used to work as a tire technician when I got out of school. I never put a tire, new or used, on a rim if I didn't put a wire wheel on it first. Never, because it would always leak. It will always leak. And I know, I'm in a hurry. There's never time to do the job, but there's always time to do it again. So just do it, all right? So we're gonna go clean up the tire now to make sure that both mating surfaces are spotless, because we don't wanna take these stupid wide ass wheels and tires apart again. This is simple. It's just a little inspection. Just look at it. God gave you eyes, look at it. Especially if you're providing a service for money. Look at it. Don't half-ass your customers because they'll get mad. This particular wheel is designed for the tire to mount from the backside. I don't want these stupid white letters showing out on my truck. So we need to make sure they are also in a rear-facing configuration, such as the wheel, right? But there's one more step. This one is gonna blow you away. Remember I said I've seen professionals put a tire on a wheel and they don't do this part, so watch. Now look, right here. You got to lube your tires up. You can't just raw dog it and slam it on there because you're gonna tear it, okay? So you can buy expensive tire grease or you can use Crisco. but only the butter flavor Crisco. The other shit in the blue can, that don't work. So lube the tire up. You know, when you get this tire lubed up, you want it to look like the money shot. I'm irritated in case you can't tell, all right? It doesn't take much to get me that way. Somebody's little screw up cost me money, which is usually the case when you're paying people to do work for you. They f it up. So here comes the money shot. All right. It's Crisco. Shit, I took this out of the old lady's kitchen. Just put more. Oh, goodness. Also, don't put a tire on without changing your valve stem because it's probably leaking already. Rubber mallet. Oh, that Crisco's everywhere. Love it. Stinking cat. Thinks he's a tire technician. Baby steps. When you're doing this, take your time. Just do it a little bits at a time. You don't need to take all the tire at once. Like that. All right, and just like that, I gotta take it back down to the shop and have them air it up because I don't have the means to air up these wide ass wheels. Okay, so remember, clean the bead, tire side, wheel side, and lube the shit out of it. All right, so after you got the tire all lubed up and you get it on there, you want to go ahead and wipe that Crisco back out if you can. You know, take your time, wipe as much of that off of the bead as possible, and then put a bead sealer, you know, it's just a paint on thing up in here. That way when it gets mounted up and the beads are seating, it's like a glue. It will help seal it, you know, so it doesn't leak even farther. Well, got the drive shaft in, got that higher steering arm on. Got the drag link kind of installed. I'm missing one nut. That's all the old stuff for that drag link. They're not bad, but I'd like to change them. Here is the steering arm. That's raised, right? It came with the lift kit. The stock ones are kind of flat. So, ting, ting, ting. Still need to get brake lines, like extended brake lines for here. Just because you can drive it doesn't mean you can stop it, right? There's just a bunch of tinkering left on the mechanical side of this. So what I'm trying to do is get that kind of stuff buttoned up. The drive shaft, the steering, the brake lines. And just like that, I got the tire and wheel back and it doesn't leak. Nice. It's all back on our feet again. Airing all the tires. But I think what I'm gonna work on next is getting the fuel tank primed up to the engine. But I need to put fuel in the tank, hook it back up to this pump, maybe put some air to the tank to get it primed up to the lift pump anyways. Hose is too short. Story of my life. Got a little bit left there. Looking for I gotta test this wire up here. I think that wire is the on-off for the HEI distributor. So it goes off and on with a key, and that's the one I want on the fuel pump. Now I'm gonna put some air in this tank, try to push the fuel down the line to the lift pump. If that works, see, I don't know what kind of pickup this has in it. We'll blow some air in there, see if it pushes the fuel up. Well, it's coming out. I'm wondering if I might as well just hook it up because it's like got a siphon there, it looks like. This is gonna be tricky. So here is my bleed-in tank, my gravity feed tank. We're just gonna try to yank that off of there. So what? Man, live. My stinking, that sucks balls. I had that clamped off, but apparently it didn't, it wasn't actually clamped. Okay, so that thing's got a siphon on it, which I may have lost. We'll see what happens now. We got fuel. So the pickup works on this tank. I didn't have to switch anything. So what I'm looking for, we got a hot fuel pump now. What I'm looking for, when I crank it over and it starts, is a bit of a stumble where some air may get into the system, and then hopefully it will pick up right away and it'll be running off the tank. Now I don't know if it's in neutral because it's got a dry shaft in it. We might go for a ride. I'll try to block it. it's gonna pick up the gas or the fuel out of the tank here. I think it did already, so we're probably in good shape. Well, that's awesome. Still got the radiator to put in. I'm gonna try this one. I think I was planning on trying this one. The only issue I'm having is where the hoses hook up are way small. I got that one back there in the corner. That's for a 65 or something. 60s Mustangs. I bought when I put this engine in that Army truck, and it did just fine cooling it. The radiator place that I bought it from said it was the same units of measure that this engine required to keep it cool from the factory. So that one worked, but I had to have this and have it made. I hillbillied this together. That's where it goes on the engine side with a sleeve, and then that's where it goes on the radiator side. And then the other radiator hose, the top one, I think was relevant, like it was the same size. So, but I'm gonna figure that stuff out here. Getting there, won't be long now. I'm so excited, I think I'm gonna call it for this video and just move on to the next segment here. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Later. .12 valve Cummins in my 1985 square body Chevy.